Okay, welcome to Doom Scroll Patrol, the show where we doom scroll so you don't have to. It's a weekly roundup show, and I think we're going to have a fun time today talking about South Park, the Epstein files, EPA being dismantled, our favorite topic, Gaza. The U.S. is also maybe destabilizing Canada, maybe, and a little bit of AI and some fun japes in between. I'm Aaron Hagee McKay.
I'm Harold Moss.
I'm Hannah Snape.
And I'm Sam Perez.
Stick around, you're not going to want to miss it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, time for the show.
Things. We should start with something interesting, like South Park going to town on Trump's little dink.
I just saw that this morning, and I was like, holy shit. I mean, like, obviously, South Park, you know, they go the way they go, but, like, goddamn, like,
they went hard.
Well, I remember, too, because, like, after the election, the South Park guys were like, hey, we're going to stay out of politics because we kind of caused this problem in some small way. So they're like, we're going to leave this all alone. So
this was all Trey Parker and Matt Stone's fault, as you're saying. Trump was,
it was
entirely up to those guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not all of them, but, I mean, they definitely didn't help when they're just like, it's not cool to care, and caring fucking sucks. And if you care, you're a loser.
And that's they definitely like were kind of an entryway into the kind of the brosphere, cynical, know-nothingism, right?
Yeah, there's a lot smarter sociologists and stuff who've said better than what I'm trying to say. But no, it's just really interesting because like
you speak good, Sam.
Who speak good, better, gooder than me. But no, and then like, so I kind of thought they would just leave it alone because that was what they said. And then last night, I didn't watch the episode, but I saw some of the shit on Twitter, and I was just like, holy shit! Like they did not like.
They're functionally libertarians. I think is where their politics actually lay, which is sort of embarrassing for grown men, but. Be that as it may, they're very well.
Yeah, but I mean, look what they make. It makes sense.
It makes sense, and I think I think Paramount. I mean, I think CBS bowing down, all the media platforms caving into Trump, giving him money, giving him free airtime, all the bribery, the Colbert stuff. I think that just that triggers their libertarian free speech kind of stuff, and so they came out swinging.
I honestly think it's a little more basic than that. It's less like principled, and it's more like they went after a comedian and fuck that, fuck you. You can't fucking.
But that is their libertarian. Free speech is
libertarianism if you want. It's like Bill Maher calling himself a libertarian for years when he was just a selfish prick. And I suppose those two things.
No, I think they're actually more principled
of that.
Yeah. But I think they're actually more. I think they genuinely believe in the importance of free speech.
Sure,
not just their free speech. I think they actually So I think that they're principled on that level. I think it's the limits of their analysis and why they could help lead to Trumpism, and I think they got pissed off.
Right. I think their cynicism for a long time was just like that kind of like, fuck you, the whole world or whatever. You know, that's a natural reaction. I think.
Well,
for
it's the whole. What was it? The douche turd sandwich. That was like such a big thing when I was a kid. When that was it Bush? I can't remember what election that was, but they released that episode.
Gore, that sort of thing.
Maybe it was, but it was the episode was like this. The kids, whatever, they have to vote between the douche and the turd sandwich, and they're like, it all sucks. Everything sucks. They're both pieces of shit. Like, if you care, you suck. And I feel like that was such a huge. I mean, obviously, I don't know how it was like in Canada, but like in America, that like growing up seeing that was such a major, like almost like philosophy of like so many people my age. Once that episode came out, it was like, and then from then on, it was like everything was like douche turd sandwich. And it's
I think you're right that there was 25 years ago, like the year 2000, we're going all the way back to then. The joke was that they were the same guy, right? I mean, Futurama had a similar joke. And like even before that with like Clinton and Bob Dole, The Simpsons had the whole, like, they're both alien replicons from the moon or from like beyond the moon or whatever. And either way, your planet is doomed, which turns out was completely correct. But there's now like a real, like, oh, there's a huge fucking gaping maw between like what the Republicans are now and what the Democrats are now, and the Republicans have pulled things so far to the right that the Democrats, no matter how far they go to like try to get that middle voter, they're always called like fucking socialist, like Nazis or whatever it is that they pull out. And everything's been so increasingly toxic, and part of that is just because it's a winner take all system, and you have to pull out all the stops because all the power goes to one fucking guy. And
Maybe he deserves it.
You know, the White House is now posting 14-word double H capitalized
manifest destiny shit.
Yeah. They're, which is 14 words. That's a whole Nazi. It's not even a dog whistle. It's just they're just posting Nazi content.
Yeah, the 14 words is a dog whistle because you have to know what the 14 words are. Something white check.
And then two capitalized H's is Heil Hitler, right? I mean, that's coming from the White House. They are
or eight,
just
H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. Yeah.
So if you ever see a white guy with a 1488 tattoo, shoot him.
You know what it is. What happened in 1488? I can't figure it out. It was before Columbus.
But you know the problem isn't that they're the same, it's that they're representing fundamentally the same interests with a very different approach at this point, right? Neither of them is taking on the fossil fuel industry. Neither of them is taking on the military complex. Neither of them is stopping Israel from genocide, right? So there's a reason why people connect to that feeling, which is under both parties, income disparity increases. All of these things happen, right?
Yes, no matter who I vote
nobody
for,
defunds ICE. Everybody boosts the ICE agent budget. You know, it's across the board. But that doesn't mean they're the same and that there's no impact when it happens and that we shouldn't have a stake in that. It's that very different thing to say fundamentally neither of these groups is going to solve the problems that we're facing. And that's very different than saying they're the same thing, right? And somehow we have to be able to hold that kind of complexity.
I've been turd sandwich this whole time, you know. Vote turd sandwich no matter who.
Yeah. But there is definitely a movement inside the party, and you can see absolutely some of the Democratic Party. There's you know, the Democratic Party leadership spending more time attacking people like Mamdani than Trump because that's the threat to their power. Right. So you can kind of see the response inside the Democratic Party. But where there is a 60% of young people in America have a positive view of socialism. Big surprise. Capitalism so obviously failing. Right. You know, this is also why don't call yourself a socialist. People, fuck that. They're going to, if you say, I think babies shouldn't starve, they're going to call you not even a socialist. They're going to say you're a Marxist, communist, jihadist, terrorist, whatever string of words they want to put on there because you don't think babies should starve, right? So if they're going to call you all those things, just own the thing that you are, which is socialism works, right?
One cannot understand National Socialism.
This is climate related. Trump's EPA now says greenhouse gases don't endanger people. It's basically overturning a key 2009 Environmental Protection Agency finding. They're basically just making the environment worse, dismantling the EPA so businesses can like do whatever the fuck they want. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin said this about dismantling pieces of the EPA. Today is the greatest day of deregulation our nation has ever seen. We are driving a dagger straight into the heart of the climate change religion to drive down costs of living for American families, unleash American energy, bring auto jobs back to the U.S., and more. So we're all going to get poisoned by like some kind of chloride. And
repealing the ability to take on climate change. They're also closing the EPA research and development capabilities entirely. Fundamentally, this has all been laid out, right? There's Project 2025 was the far right plan to dismantle all positive functionings of the government. There's actually a tracker, which I put in there that they're about 46% done with their goals from Project 2025. And all of this is in there. And that's also deregulating AI, deregulating crypto, with special cutouts that the president is able to grift especially hard on his meme coin for real. That's the level of corruption we're at. This was all planned out. It's also, when you look at the two parties, why wouldn't Democrats ever have this to get us health care and things like that? Because, it's not really their goal. Right. Why wouldn't we? We've never had a Democratic version of Project 2025, which is just to go in and tear out ICE, tear out all the bad stuff, and give universal health care at whatever cost, right? Like that's what we actually need, is our side to be coming out with this same kind of ferocity, except for to boost human life. This is all part of the plan.
Project 2026. Let's get on it.
Yeah. Well,
we can do it in a year,
actually be 2029.
Guys. We can do it in a year.
Okay, 29. You're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
So yeah, and I don't know. I think it's cool that all the water is going to be exactly. Fuck the earth. All the water is going to be poison. All the air is unbreathable.
Well, the water is just going to be burned up and used up by data centers. I mean, the level of data centers for crypto, for AI, for all this stuff that nobody wants, literally nobody wants. And I'm seeing the AI stuff, we already lost for the education work I'm doing. We lost a big grant to finish a product that was proven to work. We're also seeing that just people only want to fund AI in education. Why? When everything we know about AI in education is that it is destroying the cognitive abilities of students. They're literally rewiring our brains to not be able to write, that it's just poisoning communities of color. But yeah, this is, that's why I was saying earlier before we started recording, I'm increasingly thinking the fight against AI and the fight against global fascism are actually the same, are actually entirely the same.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's great.
Cool.
All of this is great. It's all awesome. I love it.
I like the whole make America healthy again, and then just like taking away all of the environmental like guards that would actually keep you healthy on like a public health level, like breathing in toxic air, and we're making asbestos great again.
Sounds like we're all going to die.
What kind of stuff happening in Canada? Is this like...
Not yet.
Not yet. There's definitely the folks who want to.
Yeah, there's definitely a push in some level. There was talk of like a kind of Doge thing on some level at like conservative like operators, and there was like Amazon was going to come in and be like, we got to cut these things and we'll give you a little tablet to tell you what to cut and stuff like that. That didn't pan out because the conservatives didn't win. But like there is a general like here it's like we have a guy who's kind of a classic sort of small c conservative, but is an anomaly of the Liberal Party, and it's like, so he's center right, and it's kind of like, we're going to go in, everyone's going to have to cut 15% from your budget, we got to spend less, and then we're going to do a bunch of like extractive projects and that sort of thing that we're going to create some laws that make priority for certain projects that make them go faster, and so we're gonna like cut red tape and that sort of thing. That's the level that we're at here right now, and of course he's being called a socialist. Of course he's a fucking socialist for doing all that. But yeah, the left has been functionally just dissolved here. The NDP are like the more lefty party. They have socialist roots. Like they're the ones that brought us. I mean, the precursor to it brought us have like Medicare for everyone, something we're all very proud of and happy about. But now a lot of premiers, because the like Medicare is done at the provincial level, continually cut healthcare, and so like a lot of these hospitals are just kind of like not doing great because they keep getting cuts.
I mean, it hasn't
more or
been
less what
it hasn't been great for like the last decade. We haven't had enough doctors or staff or anything. At least in Alberta, like we've been severely understaffed. It's probably all of Canada.
Yeah, it's Ontario too, BC as well. Like I mean, there's a lot of places where it's apparently in the Maritimes. If you go out to the Maritimes, it's not as bad. But anyway, yeah, go to Newfoundland and get a surgery.
Is that a rich area?
Oh no, it's the poorest area.
Oh,
it's just they have fewer people.
The seaside.
So anyway, speaking of Canada, I'm going to tell you something that so this is D-Smog just reported this. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I'm dropping it in the chat so you can take a look at it. But basically, there is now confirmed evidence from Alberta separatists. So just to back things up, there was a separatist movement here in Canada. Alberta is the oil-rich province. And there's a big separatist movement there to basically try to join the U.S. There are now separatists who are now talking to U.S. officials, apparently senior White House officials, who are now offering help. They're like, hey, we'll give you $500 million, after you declare, a sovereign state and that sort of thing. And we're going to help you transition because we want to have all of the oil that you have. They're also floating their currency by having a 1-to-1 currency swap. So you give all your Canadian dollars, we'll give you American dollars. And weirdly, you think this would all be about oil, but apparently, according to some of these people who are advocating for this, it's mostly about immigration. They just hate brown people, I guess, ? But they're complaining about it, and they're saying ICE is amazing. That's how they're going to control it. They're going to have ICE come up and do shit or whatever. So this is now confirmation that U.S. foreign policy is leaning towards destabilizing Canada to have Alberta either join it or become its own sovereign nation that is a vassal state.
Sick.
Cool.
Sick.
That is sick.
Sick.
Hang loose, dude.
Just real quick, breaking news. Hulk Hogan just died. So,
Whoa.
Rest in piss, you racist piece of shit. You anti-union dickhead. That's cool.
I can't believe you're going out saying bad things about about Hulkamania, about the Hulkster. I thought you were a wrestling fan, man.
I am. I just hate
not a racist
Hulk
fan.
Hogan. Yeah, I'm not a racist fan or an anti-union fan.
Or an anti-union.
I actually didn't know these things. I did watch the Netflix documentary on the WWE, and obviously Vince McMahon is kind of a piece of shit. But yeah, Hulk Hogan, he's racist because he says racist things.
Yeah, a lot of them actually.
Okay, yeah.
N-word, hard R, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Whoa.
And then he's anti-union, so actually Jesse Ventura wanted to bring a union to wrestling because when he worked on Predator way back in the day, he saw how actors were treated, and he was like, oh, we got to do this. We gotta get this going because obviously wrestlers aren't treated very well. They're especially back then in the 80s, and he almost was able to get a union amongst the wrestlers. And Hulk Hogan was the guy to basically let the higher ups know and help squash it. Was Hulk Hogan? So,
whoa,
yeah. So
he's a scab, and he got he used the hard R N-word based on his daughter having a black boyfriend. Yeah, and it was a rage fueled. Don't despoil my
precious white and delightsome daughter.
Yeah.
Is he the guy that goes, "Oh brother"? Is that him?
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
Hannah
I know
is
about
so young that she doesn't know who Hulk Hogan is, and it's adorable.
Brothers, brother. I'm fighting for life, brother.
Speaking of people worth killing, y'all see that? Y'all see that Surrounded thing with Mehdi Hassan and 20 fascists?
Oh, the Jubilee?
The Jubilee thing, which they did not tell him that it was going to be actual Nazis.
Dude, it's just
Is that recent?
Yeah.
That was all over my feed.
Yeah,
that's.
I know we're supposed to be a news roundup show, but holy shit, this thing was just ridiculous.
Yeah,
yeah.
Not Hassan Piker, but Mehdi Hassan.
Yeah.
Watching it, I was like, there's that moment where you're like, when do you just start shooting these people? Jesus Christ.
Well, they wanted to shoot him, clearly.
Yeah, no, they were.
If you listen to some of the shit they were saying, and then apparently some of the shit they couldn't air because it was too racist.
Yeah.
And that was after one of them was just like, yeah, I'm literally, okay, call me a Nazi, whatever. And got fired from his job apparently the next day, and then immediately started going on Give, Send, Go, and got $35,000 because Nazis love giving money to other Nazis apparently.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys think maybe we should be Nazis? Then we'll get a bunch of money.
I just feel like it's a good if you are able to take money from a Nazi just by pretending to be a Nazi without actually having to hurt anybody. I don't think that's stealing.
No, because do you remember? Was it the first time Trump got elected or the second time? There was that young black lady.
Oh yeah,
who
yeah.
had a MAGA hat, and she got online. She's like, "I love Trump," and like, I told my family I was wearing like this hat, and they kicked me out, and blah blah blah. Like, I have nowhere to go. She raised like
$100,000 or something.
Yeah, it was an insane amount of money.
100, and she was just like, psych.
Yeah, she's like, just kidding, bought a new iPhone, bitches. Like, fuck you. And I was like, yeah, this is good. This is so good.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. Because the more people who do that, the less people will be like, okay to just immediately reflexively give money to these people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something that's like a form of resistance of just like bombings, give, send, go with a whole bunch of fake give me monies from people who actually are not Nazis and seeing what happens.
Well, I mean, from my experience, they're not very good at learning or educating themselves. So I feel like they probably just won't catch on.
And it's insured, so it's a victimless crime.
Speak of the ultimate grifter, who's got very little going on up here, but he's just the ultimate grifter, and he's just for sale and always has been. He's just maybe not always. There was a point in time where he wasn't for sale, but clearly now.
One of the recent stories that came out this week is that Department of Health and Human Services, is that's what it's called?
Yeah.
So his department tried using AI to like go through all of these like any sort of proposal for like, I don't know if it's drugs or whatever it is. I don't know if that's the FDA or whatever, but basically trying to like streamline proposals for like new whatever things. I should probably pull up the article, but they're using AI, and of course it fucking keeps making up studies and being like, no, this is good because this study over here proves it. And it's just like, oh wow, AI and RFK are the same.
As I said,
make shit up.
The fight against fascism and the fight against AI, I do not think anymore there is a difference. I think it is the same effing thing. And AI,
it's going to be great.
It's not going to get
great.
better.
This guy with a doomsday bunker told me it's going to be great.
I mean, these guys literally don't want humanity left. They're the crazy tech bros who are really driving all of this are fundamentally anti-human.
So, like, do you think that's what it ultimately boils down to? Like, that we're just gonna live high on the hog until we're all dead? Is like that ultimately the plan?
No, they don't die. They don't die. Yeah. That's the plan. They think that. I mean, this isn't 100%.
There's a lot of immortalists,
but there's a lot of immortalists. Either they're uploaded or they're body biohacking.
Can we do that?
They think that they are the first generation that will live forever. No.
I honestly, I'm thinking more and more that the Matrix was just a prophecy. That like, it's just like, if you were to announce a Matrix prequel, like today, it would just be like, look outside your fucking window. Yeah. It's just like, this is how it happens. Yeah. It's like a bunch of tech bros are like, we gave birth to AI. We're also scorching the sun. and just the people who are the immortals or whatever, the architects or whatever, those are the people who get uploaded to the consciousness, and then we all have a terrible planet to live on, and so we willingly go into the Matrix because it's more preferable.
Well, except for they won't even make room for us in the Matrix. That's the real thing. Is that you
have to buy a subscription,
right,
to the Matrix?
They just want to scour the earth of all of us, and it's delusional beyond everything. It's like that 40-something-year-old guy who looks 10 years older than me because he spends $2 million a year biohacking.
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson, the creepiest.
That guy is...
Don't die.
And monitoring his son's erections and
put your son's blood in you. It's great.
That they are fully delusional. That you look at these people, they ain't right. There's something ain't right with those boys.
That boy ain't right.
Those boys ain't right. That sums them up.
If you get enough money, like if you get a little bit of money, like studies show you just like you start to feel like you're better than other people.
Well, a little bit of money it's the enough money to get your needs met actually increases happiness. Anything over that
compared to billionaires, this is a little bit.
Enough money to take care of your basic needs and not worry about the bills increases happiness. Anything over that does not really increase your happiness.
No, but it does increase your
sociopath.
It does decrease your
empathy.
Your empathy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's like I don't know if this is true or not, if this is psychologically one of those things that has been studied, but like I wonder if it's just a story you have to tell yourself, otherwise like the level of wealth that you have is just totally unjustifiable to you, and everything is just a fucking joke, and you have just somehow won at life, and so you have to tell yourself it all meant something.
Well, also you just get you all the friction and all the stuff that normal humans have to deal with disappear, and you're just kind of kept in a bubble, and you're surrounded, and it's a process. I was seeing somewhere that someone said
Harold Moss, expert on being rich.
Yeah.
It's
I am
interesting
wearing new underwear today, so I'm feeling pretty rich.
Whoa, living
Jeff
large and in
Bezos,
charge.
watch out.
We got some Fruit of the Loom on those grapes.
I mean, in my new, I mean like less than 5 years old.
Amazing.
Wow.
Fresh and clean.
Well,
do we
they
have
are
enough billionaires now to start doing studies on their brains? Because some of them have
it's
to
biohacking.
Some of them have to be susceptible to realizing the shittiness of their existence.
I don't know that that's the case.
Well, I guess there must be like a threshold for the money, because like I always think about the documentary I Am by Tom Shadyac. I don't know. He's a director.
By Tom Shadyac.
Shadyac, yeah. He does like Ace
I have no idea what
Ventura
you're
and
talking
Bruce
about.
Almighty.
Okay.
Lots of Jim Carrey stuff. Anyways, he made a documentary in like 2010 about he had like a bike accident and was, I don't know, he had this big revelation, but he had a whole bunch of money and all these big houses. And he's like, I realized I was more depressed with all the stuff. So I got rid of it all. And now I just have a bike and a tiny house and stuff like that. There's a lot more to it.
Brain damage may help.
Okay, so we should get everyone.
Let's take out their brains is a good. So what you're saying is first we got to remove their brains. I do agree that is a good first step.
Okay.
I actually love how this sort of stumbles upon the Flintstones theory of wealth. If you get hit in the head, you like as a poor person you become really rich, but if you get hit in the head again, you become like poor and okay.
When I hear like guys do that, a part of me is like, yeah, but like you're still rich. Like I'm sure he's like still okay. Like,
Totally. Oh no, he's still wealthy, but he just doesn't have the material things now.
He doesn't have to worry about all the stuff.
And he still doesn't have to worry about the money. I mean, I think there's people like Warren Buffett, who I'm not going to say is a hero, but who continued to live in the house that he bought with his wife in like the early 60s or late 50s, which is just kind of a normal house, and didn't surround himself with the trappings and just kind of did his job.
I think for him, it's basically just how high can I get the score?
Yeah.
I think he's just a Pac-Man addict.
But he's also in favor of higher taxes for wealthy people. So he didn't actually go full in on the sociopathy.
Sure, because it's a level playing field, right? It's just as long as it's just like my score relative to everybody else doesn't really change.
Yeah.
And I also like living in a place that has, like stable services and that sort of thing, and a population that doesn't want to guillotine me. It's like clear. You have to think a little bit outside yourself sometimes for these things.
There are levels of sociopathy amongst the rich.
I just think I'd like when I hear like this guy that Hannah's talking about, and I've seen, because I watched this documentary about minimalists and how they're all, it's funny because they're all rich people.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I remember being a minimalist growing up when we were like 5 people in a tiny little apartment. Yeah, that was totally minimalism that we chose to do. It wasn't just because we're poor brown folks who had no food.
Right.
I mean, minimalism is also...
There was a choice.
There's a whole aesthetic to minimalism as well as just like, I want to have clean lines and like nothing out on the counters or whatever. That's very different than being poor.
It is interesting too, talking about like sociopathy and stuff in the rich. One of the things like in Navajo culture is they say like when you're wealthy, you get accused of being like a witch because like it's basically like having a lot of wealth is bad. And like one of the famous kind of like chiefs, Narbona, he was very wealthy, but he was always accused of being a witch because like one of the sayings they would say is like, if you take care of your family and your community, you're never wealthy. So because he had like wealth, people were like, oh, well, he must be a witch. And I've been thinking about that a lot because it's like, that's how it feels like because which is very different in Navajo culture than it is like in the standard, like I guess American culture, Western culture. But it does feel like that. Like it does feel like being rich is this sickness, and it is like witchcraft because it means like you are doing dark and evil things. Because like that, you can't take care of your family or community. Like Jeff Bezos has like a bajillion-dollar wedding. Like it's not helping anybody.
Well, they're poisoning communities with their data centers, even though they know that there's no need for it outside of smart murder drone swarms and carceral state enforcement and all other sorts of monstrosities. I was reading somewhere recently. I can't pull it up, and this was definitely anecdotal, but someone said who worked in wealth areas was like, something happens after about $300 million and like a switch gets flipped. Like there was a very specific thing when people get like a certain level of wealth, they just go off the rails every time, they said. And I think that there's, now I think several hundred million is still too much concentration of wealth, and there's no reason for anybody to have that concentration of wealth. It's still quite destructive. But clearly, as you get into the billionaire class, something flips. And it is the fact of billionaires. We will not survive a planet with billionaires. It's just not gonna make it. And that's something that whatever political future we're gonna have is being able to embrace that, which is there is not a future with humanity and billionaires.
I don't think they ever tried to market it to the billionaire spelunking base jumping ground.
There's a lot of still horrible things happening and escalating and continuing to just wreak havoc on the people in Gaza. And I'm sure most people have seen either videos or coverage of all the people who are being shot at and killed at aid distribution sites. This one article says at least 900 people, but I saw a few others that said more than 1,000 people now have been shot and killed trying to just get food to feed their families because there is a famine happening. I've seen a few sources say it's reached level 5. I haven't seen any major outlets actually validate that yet. But so there's no food, and a large portion of the population has reached a point of extended malnutrition that it's going to cause permanent damage. Yeah. And it's really fucked up.
And the food is sitting right outside the gates. This is a quite, and in Israeli society, it's talked about much more openly than it is outside. It is a clearly intentional genocidal use of famine in order to eliminate the population and either kill them directly or force people to leave and take over the land. There's no ambiguity of it. It's a genocidal use of famine, and you're starting to see a shift in tone from some Western politicians and media outlets where they're like, "Oh, this is bad." You're seeing the beginnings of crocodile tears where people are going to want to be able to distance themselves from their own complicity in making this happen, because the people who have enabled, apologized for, obscured the fact are now being like, oh, this is terrible what's happening, so that they can kind of take a step back and think that they're going to save themselves. Some of these people are going to hopefully end up in The Hague for war crimes, because enabling and justifying a genocide is, in fact, it's a crime for good reason. Because all of the, almost across the board, the Western major political parties and governments have, and continuing, like Stammer in Britain going, oh, this is terrible what's happening. And then you see that there's a surveillance plane from the UK feeding information to the IDF about who to kill, like an hour later, right? So the complicity, I don't know, whatever, is...
Yeah, I think it's complicity.
The complicity continues. The complicity continues while the crocodile tears start to flow.
Just to tack on to a couple of things you said, Hannah, you mentioned how phase 5 famine is happening. Just for background there, so this is from the IPC, the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification System. Level 1 is phase 1. There's no famine. Phase 5 is the worst. Phase 5 is catastrophic / famine. Households have an extreme lack of food and or other basic needs even after full employment of coping strategies. Starvation, death, destitution, and extreme critical acute malnutrition levels are evident for famine classification. Area needs to have extreme critical levels of acute malnutrition and mortality.
And the food is sitting there sometimes just hundreds of yards away.
And just on the news thing, yeah, so you're saying crocodile tears. Yes, England, Japan, other European nations, Canada did like a joint statement saying the war in Gaza must end now. Something I learned recently is that if you say the word genocide, then there's like by international law that there's a duty to act. And so you just can't say the word. So like that's why you have words like war in Gaza must end. As opposed to the thing that everyone else is saying, being like, look, this is far beyond that. It's so asymmetrical, the level of suffering. And just to go on from that, the New York Times published two op-eds that were, one was from a Holocaust researcher being like, guys, this is genocide. The other was from their internal columnist who was like, that internationally renowned genocide researcher is totally full of shit. It's not a genocide, which tells you, I guess, where the New York Times is on their editorial judgment.
Well, I don't know if you know what time we're in, but experts aren't experts anymore, and we don't listen to them.
Yeah, I guess not.
You know, I'm the expert because I talk to GPT.
Exactly. But for anyone who's feeling a bit helpless in this whole situation, there was an organization I found this morning that apparently was greenlit to go through, I think, Lebanon or something, to actually bring aid into Gaza. And they have until the 28th of July to get funding. They're actually almost to their goal now, but I'm sure any extra support helps.
What's the name of the group? And let's put a link. It's called.
Yeah, we can put a link. There's a lot of really long titles. It's Human Concern International is working with Sahar Ali and various relief agencies to get humanitarian aid on the ground in Gaza right now. So, and there's a TikTok that I watched too of someone who works for this foundation with a little more information that I can play a little clip of, but.
Cool. If you're seeing this before July 28th, this message is for you. My charity just got the green light to send life-saving supplies and food to the north of Gaza through Lebanon and Cyprus in the humanitarian aid sea corridor. But we're racing against time. That means 4 million meals, 200,000 people being fed. For those of you who want to be part of this mission to send supplies and aid to Gaza right now is the time.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to feel like they're helping in any way, that's something.
I also just wanted to add in that the name escaped me and then I had to look it up. The opinion piece in the New York Times by the historian is Omer Bartov, who was saying, look, this is a genocide. This is something.
And then, of course, it was Brett Stevens.
And it was Brett fucking Stevens.
Who still, to this day, is proud of helping enable the war in Iraq, which killed 1 million folks there, enabled, Daesh, ISIS, ISIL, whatever the various things.
Whatever we call them now.
Yeah, I mean, all of the instability and probably led to millions of deaths, with plural millions, is most likely if you really look at the cost of that war and ongoing instability. I mean, just monster. And the fact that he gets paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to just spout out uninformed genocidal nonsense is, just a point of pride.
What does Brett Stevens look like? What does he look like?
Oh, yeah. He's definitely got a punchable face.
What's his name?
Brett Stevens.
He's younger than I thought. You know what? He actually kind of looks like.
Wait, he's only 50.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well.
Yeah,
maybe these are earlier. Maybe these are earlier photos.
Yeah, he looks like a chode.
He definitely looks like a chode. Like a chode who came from money. Moneyed chode.
Oh yeah. He looks like I'm looking at this picture on his Wikipedia. I can tell because his hands are up. I can tell he ain't never worked them hands a day in his life. I can just see
just except for fapping to Ayn Rand novels.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
His eyes are soulless.
Yeah.
Like a doll's eyes. What an asshole.
I mean,
he does look like a guy who like
long
got an Ayn Rand novel in high school and just like he was that fucking.
Yeah, they were all those guys. Yeah, but I mean the long term, I think that Israel has done more to bring about a one-state solution, which is eventually a secular state. You know, and when people say from the river to the sea, that means is there shouldn't be an ethno-state. That Israel as an ethno-state no ethno-state has the right to exist. And that there should be one state with equal rights for everybody there. That's all it is. That's what the river to the sea means. One state, everybody, nobody gets murdered. Nobody gets famined when there's food sitting there. That's what a one-state solution means. They have undermined long-term the Zionist project. Youngest Jewish people are turning against them. The Democratic Party, you look at the numbers, it used to be overwhelmingly sympathetic to Israel. It's now flipped. It's of small comfort to people who are starving to death while food sits a few hundred yards away. I think that they have done more to undermine it. Their bet is, well, Netanyahu's bet is, if I can keep this war going forever, which after funding Hamas,
I won't go to jail.
Yeah, well, I mean, Netanyahu, who funded Hamas, who probably let October 7th happen, although we can't know for sure, very likely let it happen. And then has
some 9/11 truther stuff.
And, well, I mean, he funded Hamas. That's just history. That's on the books. He wanted a religious counterpart.
The U.S. also gave money to Osama bin Laden, what's called the Mujahideen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so you don't need the truther
who
stuff.
Were thanked in Rambo 3.
They certainly were. And deservedly so.
But he's, he's looking to preserve his own ass. And then the other side of it is, if we get the genociding done, then it's a done deal and we're good. And that's the gamble that they're taking. And the gamble is really for the project of Israel itself, because I think that they have the growing revulsion globally against them undermines that. But their gamble is, if we can displace and kill all the Palestinians, then the world will just accept it, because that's what happens when you win at genocide.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it didn't really work out for the Nazis. Like, they were not exactly. Well, they did their genocide, and then they fucking.
No, I said it was a gamble. That's the gamble they're taking.
Right? Yeah.
Worked out for America.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Well, what happened to the Rhodesians? Did they ever face any consequences back in the 70s?
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, it's basically Israel. White people tried to form their own country in Africa, and the people fought back and kicked them all out.
Yeah.
I guess my point is that, like, this is creating more Nazis, and it's creating more.
Zionists see Nazis as allies, literally, and that's not an exaggeration. You look at who they go after. Anti-Semites are allies to the Zionist project because they give the reason, right? And that's why when you look at the allies that AIPAC protects, all the Christian nationalists are anti-Semitic bastards, right? The Christian nationalists,
it's a weird thing where they love Israel, but they hate Jews.
Right. So the Zionism doesn't care about creating Nazis and anti-Semites because it actually feeds into the project. It's a colonial imperial project that has nothing to do with keeping Jews safe in the world. Nothing to do. It's about taking land, and about a greater Israel that's going to take over a lot more land is the vision, right? That's what the Zionists are working for. I think that they may have permanently undermined that. I think the world has grown revolted by it, but that's the gamble that they're taking, that if you complete a genocide, the world goes, That's the gamble they're taking.
Just in case you're wondering, Bret Stephens, I started reading his like, it's not a genocide argument, and the basically thing was just like, if it were a genocide, they'd be better at it. They'd do more killing faster. I'm like, oh,
that's
man.
Like
what a terrible take.
Wait, that was like
what a terrible take.
Back in the 90s, some gangbanger, they accused him of murdering, like or attempted murder or something, and his defense was basically, he goes, if I wanted my ops dead, they'd be dead. That's how good of a shooter I am. Like, that was his defense.
Well, and you look at what's going on in Gaza, it's like days of the week where they are finding children with the bullets, and the snipers choose different parts of the body, and they're playing games, pumping children's bodies full of bullets. Okay. We're going to hit the foot. We're going to do this. This is a genocide. There's just no ambiguity to it. They are starving people to death. So I think Zionism hopefully will lose that bet. and we will see at some point that the state of Israel is wiped off the map, and that there is a single place there where Jews and Arabs can live safely with equal rights. It's not about genocide. It's not a flip around. That's not what the anti-Zionists have never been about, genociding, right? That is not the counterplay. The counterplay is equal rights for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think the priority should be just there needs to stop. We need to stop killing people, right, as fast as possible, like this, and just start feeding people who need to be fed. And I don't know how this ends or rebuilds, and it's increasingly tragic every day.
Yeah,
and I'm finding it very, very difficult to engage with.
Yep.
But we have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
No, it's just very painful. And I know it's more painful to be there. It's just very painful.
Yeah. So did anybody have some good news?
No.
Welcome to Doom Scroll Patrol. The sad clown train is just pulling to the station.
I mean, I do think, I think in this country, I said a couple of months ago that I thought that Trump was starting to go past the peak of his power. I think we're seeing that continue. We didn't actually, good for us somehow.
We can talk about the Epstein shit if you want.
The Epstein stuff we didn't talk about.
Dude.
Well, but it's,
I'd say that's good news.
Yeah, that's good news that we may actually.
That our government's going to shut down because they don't want to release it.
Yeah. And it's
I think it's
crazy.
fantastic. It's fantastically weird how all of this stuff was known.
Yeah.
Right? None of this is new.
Yeah.
All of his creepy shit that you're saying, like, I can't believe, like, Epstein is like a clip of him taking the fifth number of times. I'm like, that was around in like 2019 or whatever. Like, this is not this, like, all of these people who were like plugged into this conspiracy somehow, like, Superman glassed it, like, his way off of, like, what am I trying to say? Somehow, like, Trump's close ties to him were just sort of erased in their mind. And, like, they were just like, yeah, this guy's totally gonna keep this guy and expose all of the criminals, as if him, like, hanging out with him that whole time was, like, some sort of long con. Why are these people just coming to this now is what I want to know.
Well,
I think it's really great that we're seeing a lot of people, like, burn their MAGA hats and, like, really just turn on Trump just because of this. There could have been a lot of reasons before this, but hey, at least this is doing something.
It's also because he based his campaign around conspiracy theories, and this is what happens. Conspiracy theories eat their own at some point, and that's what they're finding. You know, and he was able to convince people that he turned on Epstein when he found out about the kid stuff, but it was actually like a business thing went sour. It had nothing to do with it. And that they were going to come in and root out the deep state, and the deep state was entirely made up of rich Democrats who drain babies for an imaginary drug, right? And they got
Harold,
so
you've
hyped.
never tried adrenochrome? You got to try it.
You got to try adrenochrome, dude. It will make you feel years younger.
Yeah.
You know, just have to be careful because the cameras will catch
I put
you.
it in my coffee every day. It's just it picks you up.
That's why we've got to.
That's what's helping me fight diabetes.
Are they still doing the newborn baby foreskin face things? That was a huge thing in like
What?
20.
What?
Okay, I missed this one.
I'm sorry.
All the
What?
celebrities. There was a bunch of celebrities who admitted to a treatment that uses the foreskins of newborn babies
Mazel tov.
as face stuff. And one of them, I forget who it was, but one of them was like openly talking about it on like the Ellen show or something, and it was like, okay.
No way. Hold on. I gotta look at this. Celebrity
Utilizing
Weirdly
ingredients
enough, when you-
derived from human foreskin.
Yep.
It's,
Did they say baby I only do baby foreskin. None of that, like, I'm a 40-year-old guy and I'm getting a fucking I'm getting my foreskin removed for like aesthetic reasons.
Yeah, that's.
And then putting it on my
guy.
face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sandra
so-
Bullock's. Mm-hmm.
Sandra
So it
Bullock
was,
did it?
penis
Sandra
facial.
Bullock, Kate Beckinsale, and Kate Blanchett. The penis facial.
FDA approved stem
I'm
cell
sorry.
microneedling treatment that uses growth factors derived from the foreskin of baby boys.
Anyways,
maybe these conspiracy theorists were
yeah, but anyway,
maybe we need to go check under that pizza place.
Right. Well, I mean, the fact is that there are so many pedophiles who come out of the right wing Christian movement, and they're all over the place. Cops, youth pastors. That's where the pedophiles goes. The priesthood, obviously, as well. And that
there's a lot of me thinks thou doth protest too much.
Yeah.
York? Is it York?
But I do. I mean, I think we can enjoy the fact that they are starting to eat themselves over this. Obviously, I mean, there's some weird stuff. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Did someone just drop?
I fucked some shit up in the back here. I gotta take this in or something. I don't know what's going on with this thing.
I think something happened with Harold. Should we just end it? Like, just do the intro real quick?
Well, end on foreskin.
Love it.
What a meandering podcast this was. And everyone was so down the whole time.
Yeah, we were really engaged. And yeah, it was super cool.
I think it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to be... It's not that I don't want to be engaged. It's just like, it's so much happens all the time. And I get, like, because Harold said, like, you know, this is what they do. They do this all the time. But it truly is exhausting. And then when you read it, and then it's like, all right, well, now I got to go talk about it.
Yeah.
And got to make jokes about it. You know what this show needs? One of those, like, air horn things just going off.
Shit, yeah.
Bam, bam, bam.
Some more
ukulele. And
ukulele.
I know, Aaron, you were like, let's not do a movie podcast. But you know what? Now I get it. Like, now I get why people just talk about movies.
Sure. You want to talk about Superman? I saw Superman the other day. We can just talk about...
This is good.
We can just talk about it.
I'm not a big Superman... Yeah, I'm not a big Superman fan.
I think Superman is a boring-ass character because he's too powerful. Yeah. It's just like, oh, no, nothing can stop the guy.
He doesn't do anything of significance.
Well, he does in this movie.
You saved...
They finally...
he does?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, this one... No, So, like, I'm not a big Superman fan, like, at all. Never liked him. Exactly the reasons you said. But I actually really like this movie because it shows him being like a hero, like saving people. Like he's very like kind of like
he basically goes and stops the Gaza genocide to the point where Israelis are boycotting the movie, although they don't call it Israel. So like they're there's a self-own there.
They're kind of letting them kind of telling on themselves on that one.
But there's a boycott by Zionists because the film. You know, it was some fictional.
It could easily, not to spoil too much, but there's a bigger nation with a lot more weapons who wants to invade a smaller nation that's very poor, and there's like a whole sort of, it's like a wall, there's a border or whatever.
It's a parallel.
Yeah.
There's a parallel to it, but it's also like Russia coded as well. So it's kind of like, these are the big wars happening. Let's just mush them together. Like and
that superheroes should stand up against injustice on the global stage.
The whole crux of like the movie is this conversation between Lois Lane and Clark Kent, and she's basically like, how can you insert yourself into like geopolitical blah blah blah? And his whole thing is basically like, people were dying. Like, what am I supposed to do? They were gonna die. I stopped it. Yeah, but they're like, but you can't do that, Superman, because, you know, blah, blah, blah.
What did you do? You're like, I just took this guy out to the desert and I put him up against a cactus. You tortured him? No, this is like a small cactus. It's like a little needle. He's fine.
I'd say
I just said don't do it, or else there's going to be consequences. So you threatened him.
It's really fun.
Watch the movie. Okay.
Well, James Gunn is kind of on point. He also created the robot killing Nazi that will be a forever meme as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
But yeah, it's got Crypto the super dog. Super fun.
Yeah.
He's noticed that like you need to have a little uncontrollable animal as like comic relief.
Yeah.
Like if you watch
a rescue dog apparently that tore up his house, so that was what inspired Crypto.
Wait, like Rocket.
But Rocket is his own personality because he can speak.
Is it Jackal from Creature Commandos?
Oh, I don't know that one. But I was going to say Eagle-E from Peacemaker, where it's just a bald eagle, and it's just like a dog. It's just like an unruly dog, and it's so funny.
Nice. All right.
Well, that concludes this episode of Undeniable Talks About Movies.
If you want to have a little bit of a good time in a dark time, Superman, I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, same.
I went into it being like, I don't know about Superman, but
just to end on a positive note, I think that maybe this whole
Hulk Hogan died.
Well, no, I think this whole Epstein.
Thank you for listening to Doom Scroll Patrol. Like, comment, and subscribe to Undeniable Network for more content and to support our work.